I have another function where its graph is a rightward parabola. One end is a filling circle and the other end is an empty circle. Then there is a vertex on x-axis. Remember, in the previous example we did the upward parabola. In this problem I have rightward parabola where the vertex is on x-axis. Since it is on x-axis, so we're gonna take the vertex with the domain, because domain is a real number along x-axis. The upper end is located on 3.5 along x-axis and 9.5 along y-axis. The lower end is located on 2.5 along x-axis and negative 10.5 along y-axis. These are the coordinate points along x-axis and y-axis. My vertex is here, which is on negative 1 along x-axis and 0 on y-axis. This example is again a little bit different and technical compared to what we did in the previous problems. Its one end is a filling circle and the other is an empty circle. We're gonna take the domain with the vertex. Negative 1 and 3.5 are gonna be a domain. I'm gonna take the domain with a filled-in circle. I have nothing to do with an empty circle. I'm gonna ignore it. When it comes to the domain and range value from the vertex, whether it is domain or range, you're gonna consider the filled-in circle. If both the ends are the filled-in circle and they are situated on a single point, as we did in the previous problem, then you're gonna take the single point. But if both the ends are located on different points, one is an empty circle and the other is a filled-in circle, then we're gonna consider the vertex with the filled-in circle. The filled-in circle is on 3.5 along x-axis and the vertex is on negative 1 along x-axis. This is my domain, negative 1 and 3.5. X equal to and greater than negative 1, x equal to and less than 3.5. Because remember, we have learned that whether it is a vertex or fill-in circle, we're gonna use equality and inequality sign. Equal to and greater than, equal to and less than. So for the fill-in circle and for the vertex, we're gonna use exactly the same symbol. I ignored the side which has an empty circle. There is a close bracket with a negative 1 because of the vertex, and close bracket with 3.5 because of the fill-in circle. To find the range, for the range I'm gonna take the y values. This end is located on 9.5 along y-axis. This one is on negative 10.5 along y-axis, which is my range. My range is negative 10.5 and 9.5. Y is greater than negative 10.5, equal to and less than 9.5. Y is greater than negative 10.5. Negative 10.5 is not included because of the empty circle. Less than 9.5, including 9.5 because of the fill-in circle. For the negative 10.5, I have only an equality sign. I don't have equality sign. But for the 9.5, I have equality sign as well because of the fill-in circle. Or to write it in the negative 10.5, comma 9.5. I have a parenthesis with the negative 10.5 because of the empty circle at the lower end of the graph, and a close bracket with 9.5 because of the fill-in circle on the upper end. I have another function, and its graph is a downward parabola. Its vertex is on y-axis, where it is on 0 along x-axis and positive 9 along y-axis. This is the vertex. This end is located on negative 5 along y-axis and negative 7 along x-axis. This is located on negative 5 along y-axis and positive 7 along x-axis. I'm gonna take the vertex with a range because it is along y-axis, and range is the real number along y-axis. Both the ends of this parabola are empty circles. First I'm gonna take the domain for this function, which is negative 7 and positive 7. These are the coordinate points along x-axis, which is my domain. X is greater than negative 7 and less than positive 7. I don't have equality sign on either side because both the ends of this parabola are empty circles. So it means that negative 7 and positive 7 are not included. It must be greater than negative 7 and less than positive 7. This is the domain. I can also write it in negative 7 comma positive 7. I have parentheses on both sides because of the empty circles. To find the range, which are the real numbers along y-axis, this end is located on negative 5. The other end is also located on negative 5 along y-axis. So both the ends are located on a single point, which is negative 5. So I'm gonna consider it a single point from here up to the vertex, which is positive 9. So positive 9 and negative 5 is my range. Y is greater than negative 5 and equal to and less than positive 9. With the negative 5 I don't have equality sign because both the ends are empty circles. But I have equality sign with a positive 9. Y is equal to and less than positive 9 because of the vertex. Remember, we have learned that whether we have a fill-in circle or vertex, we're going to use both equality and inequality sign. Therefore, I have equal to and less than 9, including 9, but must be greater than negative 5. Negative 5 is not included. 9 is included. Or to write it in negative 5, comma 9. I have a parenthesis because of the empty circles and a close bracket because of the vertex. One thing to be noted, that whether you represent the domain and range in the ordered pair or the equality and inequality form, both are the correct ways to represent the domain and range of the function. If I have a function where its graph is in this shape, is a parabolic shape, one end is an empty circle and the other is a filled-in circle. To find the domain, I'm gonna take the coordinate values along x-axis, which is negative 4 and positive 6. This is gonna be my domain. X equal to and greater than negative 4 and less than positive 6. There is equality sign with the negative 4 because of the filled-in circle, which means that negative 4 is included. But there is no equality symbol with the positive 6 because of the empty circle. So positive 6 is not included. Its domain must be equal to and greater than negative 4, including negative 4, but must be less than positive 6. I can also write the domain negative 4, comma 6. Both the answers are correct. It doesn't matter. It's totally up to you. I have a closed bracket with negative 4 because of the filled-in circle and a parenthesis with a positive 6 because of the empty circle. To find the range for this function, y is equal to and greater than positive 2 and less than positive 6. There is equality sign with the 2 because of the filled-in circle. 2 is included. There is a closed bracket with the 2 because of the filled-in circle and parenthesis with 6 because of the empty circle. I have another function where its graph is an upward parabola. This is its vertex, which is on 0 along x-axis and positive 4 along y-axis. This is my vertex. Both the ends of the parabola have arrowheads, which shows the infinity. So the left side is on negative infinity along x-axis and positive infinity along y-axis. The right side is also on positive infinity along x-axis and positive infinity along y-axis. There is no empty circle, there is no closed circle. There is arrowhead on both the ends of this parabola, which shows the infinity. The domain for this function is negative infinity and positive infinity. Negative infinity and positive infinity are along x-axis. This is my domain. The domain is x is greater than negative infinity and less than positive infinity. This is my domain. I'll write in pair negative infinity and positive infinity. Since both the ends have arrowhead, therefore there are parentheses with the negative infinity and with the positive infinity. This is one new information. Remember, so far we have learned that if there is an empty circle at the end of the graph, that we're gonna use parentheses. The next case is if there is an arrowhead at the end of the graph, it means that the graph goes in infinity. Whether it is negative infinity or positive infinity, use the parentheses for the infinity. But what about the range? The range is from the vertex 4 up to the positive infinity because both the ends of this parabola go in positive infinity. So the range will be 4 and positive infinity. Y equal to and greater than positive 4 and less than positive infinity. This is the range for this function. 4 is included because of the vertex. There is equality symbol or in pair 4 comma positive infinity. There is a closed bracket with the 4 because of the vertex and parenthesis with the positive infinity because of the arrowheads.